All right, Chris. Now, it's funny when we kind of kicked off the show, we went back and forth a little bit, and I didn't even realize we weren't, not that we weren't on the same page, that you weren't on the same page as some others. And I know we played the CBS Sports, the Beyond the Arc, and a lot of people just assuming that Keegan is going to be the 4 on this team and the power forward. So with that being said, Hoops Hype, they have listed out the power forwards, and they have Keegan on this list.
Yep, Hoops Hype did, like you said, made the top 30 NBA small or power forwards out there, and a little bit surprising to see where Keegan falls on the list. And then some of the names above him, I kind of feel like Keegan deserves. He's just outside of the top 10. I kind of feel like he deserves to be in there. So let's go through it real quick. Okay. No surprises up top. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo holding down that best power forward in the league spot. Number 2, they have Zion Williamson. At number 3, they have Paolo Banchero. 4, they have Pascal Siakam. Number 5, they have Karl Anthony Towns. Number 6, they have one Lauri Markkanen, who was the apple of many eyes this summer. Julius Randle at number 7, Jaren Jackson at number 8. And that's kind of where I think I'm okay with this list and don't really start to have problems. Mm-hmm. I don't have a massive problem with Evan Mobley at number 9. I think Aaron Gordon I'd probably have over him. Aaron Gordon's number 10. Mm-hmm. And that's your top 10. So if you feel like Keegan Murray is a top 10 power forward, you have to pick one of those names that you feel like Keegan is better than. I personally don't think I can say with 100% confidence that Keegan is 100% better or definitely better than any of those guys. Evan Mobley, like I said, I think there's a possible debate, but he does average a block and a half a game, 9.5 rebounds, 15.5 points per game. Definitely feels like he's still growing as well. Number 11, this is definitely where people are going to start getting a little bit spicy. And keep in mind here, Keegan Murray is behind these players on this list of Hoops Hype top 30 power forwards. Number 11 is Kyle Kuzma. So for all those out there who are Kyle Kuzma doubters, Hoops Hype has Kyle Kuzma actually is better than one Keegan Murray right now. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets falls in at number 12. Jeremy Grant of the Portland Trailblazers falls at number 13. And then at number 14 is everybody's favorite, Keegan Murray. And I will say at number 15 is the guy who was taken number 2 in the very same draft that Keegan was. Jabari Smith Jr. falls at 15. So at least that's right, 100%. It is good to see Keegan is outperforming somebody at his own position that was taken in the same draft as him. Just as the quick write-up of Keegan Murray after a very promising rookie season, Kings forward Keegan Murray took a big leap. No, I'm sorry. I looked too far ahead. Keegan Murray took a slight step back. I'm sorry. In 23-24, seeing his three-point percentage fall from 41% to 35.8%. However, he's too talented of a scorer, specifically a shooter, for us to not think that the third season will look a lot more like his rookie year as far as three-point accuracy. As a first-year player, Murray produced 1.2 points per possession, which was in the 86th percentile, an extremely impressive mark for a rookie. Last year, that fell to 1.11, which is in the 71st percentile. Again, we think he'll get back to his early career form in 24-25 as far as three-point spot-up shooting, something that would help the Kings rise in these rankings. There's a reason why Murray has been made unavailable in trade talks by Sacramento thus far, and we think that's the right direction here at Hoops Hype, as the 24-year-old still has upside as a scorer. After all, Murray was more of a spot-up shooter, displaying a smooth off-the-dribble scoring game, as well as using his length very well defensively. So we think he could be a breakout player soon for the Sacramento Kings. And that is your write-up on number 14, power forward in the NBA, one Keegan Murray.
Real quick, and I would send this to Brooklyn. And I just think it's interesting. Did you see where Cam Johnson is?
Ooh, I did not. Cam Johnson, if I had to guess, he better be top 20. I'll say he's close. I'll say 19.
He's 21.
He's 21. Wow. Let's see some of the names that are ahead of him there. You have PJ Washington at 17. You have Draymond at 18. John Collins at 19. Obi Toppin at number 20. And Cam Johnson at number 21. That is That's kind of crazy. Yeah. I mean, not that, he's much, much better than that, but I definitely would have him over a guy like Obi Toppin. I'd probably have him over John Collins as well. I think I would personally rather have Cam Johnson than a John Collins, but that's probably where it stops. So I would probably have him at 19 right behind Draymond.
You would take PJ Washington over?
I think so. I think I would. Yeah. PJ's a good shooter. He also can mess around in the paint. He's a little bit taller and longer than Cam Johnson is. I think that might be why Cam Johnson, if I had to guess, I haven't read this write up yet, but I would think that maybe some of the problems they have with him is his overall size.
Yeah, Tobias Harris at 16, which I just
wow,
interesting. Well,
GG Jackson at 22. I definitely don't think GG Jackson's a power forward.
And that's exactly where I was going with this. Obviously, we are in the throes of the the off season here. But I mean, how much longer are they even going to be able to truly separate?
Yeah.
All of these, whether it's the ones and twos and the threes and the fours, I mean, I feel like we're just headed towards
it's guards, forward,
center.
That's what it is. That's 100% what.
Because I'm looking here and I'm thinking, why in the world is Keegan in the same breakdown with Draymond Green?
Yeah,
like
100%.
What are we actually talking about here?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just very confusing.
It is. It's really confusing. It is just kind of the evolution of positionless basketball that, like you said, I mean. And there's very small difference. Yeah, there's very small difference between a 3 and a 4, and there's fours that should be threes but are a little too tall, and that's maybe where you throw Keegan in there. And then there's fours that are too short to be a center, and or just not strong enough. And that's your Evan Mobley's. That's Draymond probably fits more into the too short to be a center, so he's a power forward. It's really, really complicated. And yeah, I mean, we've seen it with the Kings these past couple of years. HB and Keegan, I mean, they're like the same height. Yeah. They virtually offensively do the same thing, but defensively, HB is just a little bit thicker. And so you had him guard fours, and Keegan's a little bit younger and a little bit faster. And so he guards threes. And I think it's just as simple as that, but there's not like a hard line of like, okay, since you are the 4, these are your responsibilities. Since you are the 3, these are your more responsible. It's really, really, the lines have never been as blurred as they are today. And it even does apply to point guard and shooting guard, right? Like we have that conversation with guys like Luka. What is Kyrie? Is Kyrie a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? Malik Monk, same thing. I think Malik is pretty much the de facto backup point guard, but we have conversations of should he start at the shooting guard spot? And so I just think in general, the lines have been blurred so much in today's NBA that it's a bit complicated. Like Keegan and Markkanen both do the same thing, but they're built completely different. Like Markkanen's 7 feet tall and a little bit slower than Keegan is, but Keegan's 6'8", 6'9", shoots just as well as Markkanen, but they're expected to guard the same position. It's really confusing, and it's what makes the NBA in today's age so tough is that there's not any clear and obvious mold, right? You can find skill sets and things out of anybody. Bruce Brown can be a 4 in today's NBA. That was not the case for a long time unless you were someone really special like a Charles Barkley, honestly. So it's really, really confusing to try and pigeonhole these guys into very specific positions nowadays.
And LeBron, they have LeBron with the small forwards.
I'd have him as a point guard.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how LeBron today. To me, it's power forward or point guard that you would have to have. But again, that really does highlight just how blurred the lines are. And they don't have Anthony Davis as on this list. They have Anthony Davis, as they said, they finally put him as a center because he should be a center. Right. But Anthony Davis doesn't want to play center because he fits into that Evan Mobley mold of, I don't know. That sounds like a lot of physicality, and I'm not really here for it. So. Yeah,
and at least Keegan, regardless of whether you're a 3 or a 4, he is where he is on this list. I don't necessarily, like you said, I don't really take any issue with any of them. I mean, it's kind of hard to take an issue with any of them. I think I saw something. Yeah, people are saying who he's outplayed so far, but I look at Keegan and I just think that everything. I'm surprised you didn't have any problems with Julius Randle, by the way, at 7.
I mean, I don't love it, but I would be arguing him at 9 instead of 7.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think he's great. I definitely would rather have Jaren Jackson over him, but And I'd probably take Evan Mobley over him as well, but like the production for Julius Randle is there, and so I can't really dispute that off of, hey, I think Evan Mobley one day can be this. And so I'm honestly most shocked. The one thing that I don't necessarily disagree with it, but the thing that shocked me the most is Paolo Banchero already a top 3 power forward, and I only expect him to get better. Like I just never really thought or considered Paolo Banchero by the end of this season is essentially going to be the second best power forward, only behind Giannis in this league. And I don't necessarily think it's wrong. I mean, they have Zion at number 2. Zion, we know how his injury history has gone and how that production has been. He's been great when he plays, but there's definite reason to believe Zion gets hurt at some point this year. And at the end of the year, we're saying Paolo Banchero, second best power forward in the league already, and he's 21, 22 years old.
Yeah. Coming up next, we asked the question, how does this 3 versus 4 thing play out, and how much does it actually matter between DeMar DeRozan and one Keegan Murray? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of